Hey, sit down. I need to tell you about something that happened to me. Something that still sends chills down my spine. You know how I used to work those late-night shifts as a radio DJ, right? Well, this story is about one night that went horribly wrong. It was a typical graveyard shift, just me and the hum of the equipment in the dimly lit studio. The city outside was a ghost town, lost in the shadows. I was spinning tunes, the usual stuff, when things took a bizarre turn. A call came through on the hotline. Nothing unusual, just a listener requesting a song. But this guy, his voice was off. It was like a whisper that clawed at the edges of your sanity. He asked for this old forgotten track buried deep in our archives. I hesitated but played it, thinking it was just another eccentric request. As the song played, the atmosphere in the studio changed. It wasn't just the music. It was like an ominous force had settled in. I shook it off, blaming it on the late hour. Then the hotline rang again, and this time, it wasn't a song request. It was the guy, the caller, and he started talking about things he shouldn't know, things about the city, about me. The room got colder, and I swear shadows started moving on their own. The caller spoke of secrets, twisted tales that made my skin crawl. I was alone, surrounded by darkness, and his voice seemed to echo from places it shouldn't. As he spoke, the studio felt like it was closing in on me. The air got heavier, and I realized I was trapped in a narrative that went beyond the bounds of reality. The caller's voice grew desperate, almost pleading, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't just some listener. He was something else. When the song ended, the studio plunged into darkness. The control board flickered like it was possessed, and the hotline was dead silent. I was left sitting there, engulfed in an unsettling stillness. The caller was gone, but the echoes of his words lingered in the air. From that night on, things were different. I could feel eyes on me, like I was being watched. The late-night broadcast became a source of dread. It sounds crazy, but I started seeing things. Shadows moving, whispers in the silence. The city outside felt like it held secrets that refused to stay buried. I kept working those late shifts, but the studio felt like a portal to something darker. Every time the hotline rang, I held my breath, fearing the return of that haunting voice. The city slept, unaware of the horrors that unfolded within the walls of that radio booth. I wish I could shake off the feeling, but it's like the studio absorbed the caller's story. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can hear that gurgling whisper, and I can't escape the unsettling truth that some tales are too disturbing to be just stories.